It's official. We're not running carburetors on the Blown small block Chevrolet with methanol. Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is KevinWilsonSBC. As you can see, we've been busy fabricating some front of the engine accessories. We've decided to not run carburetors on the 871 blower, and we are going to go with a mechanical fuel injection. And I'm working directly with Alkydigger in Tennessee, and Toni and Mike. You guys are amazing, so major shout out to you guys. But we've been busy fabricating some on the front of this motor, and I'm going to switch over to my iPhone to do a little better close-up. We're switching over to a belt-driven fuel pump. I'll give you some details about that, how we mounted it, some of the challenges with the crank trigger, etc. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Let's take a look at this, and hopefully you can learn from some of the stuff we're doing, some of the decisions we've made. If you're considering a Gen 1 small block Chevrolet with any type of boost, especially a roots blower or anything that's going to require a belt-driven pump, then stay tuned. Let's take a look. So here's what we got going on. We got the Enderle mechanical fuel pump. This is from Alkydiggers, and what we did is we've got the mandrel that goes on the front of the blower pulley, and it has 6 bolt holes that bolt through. And what we had to do is we had to fabricate a pulley, and well, not a pulley, but we had to fabricate a mount that we use that mounts to the front of the block where the crank trigger goes. And I'll switch over to my iPhone here, but just kind of wanted to give you a little different view of this, how it mounts, how we can adjust the belt tension there with those 2 bolts in the front, and then the 3-way shutoff valve that is on top of the pump and down. So I switched over to the iPhone and got a light. Wanted you guys to be able to take a look here at the bracket that we fabricated and get a better idea of what's going on here. And it's a 3/16 inch steel that mounts to the front of the block, and it comes out and mounts to the belt-driven fuel pump. You can get an idea here of how this looks under. Another thing we had to do, because we're running a long crank hub, is we had to rotate the outer ring because our crank hub has magnets in it. So we're going to use 4 magnets like you would use in an MSD wheel. But the hub has an aluminum outer ring with timing marks on it, and there are 4 magnets embedded. You can see one of the magnets right there between the alternator pulley and the top of the crank hub. You see that area, that's one of the magnets. We had to rotate that outer ring counterclockwise 1 scallop. By rotating it, it put the other magnet around the 7:30 to 8 o'clock position, and because of that I had to extend the groove in the MSD bracket so that I could get the pointer onto that. Right now the motor's sitting at 30 degrees, and a roots blower on methanol definitely likes more timing, and I wanted to have enough room to get to 34, 35, and as much retard as 22 to 20. And so we had to extend that slot in the bracket so that I can get a little more swing. Now, working with Alkydigger and looking at other sites, I could have put the ring, or I could have put the pickup a little higher on the block, but then we're running a different timing cover than most. This is a pretty thick timing cover, as you can see there, and this is also made by CVR, and it's a 2-piece timing cover. If I would have put the location higher, we were hitting the cover. So I wanted to stay down low on the pickup, and I think we got that figured out. The belt driven pump turns at half the speed of the motor, so we're going to shift the car at 7,200, 7,400 RPMs, and this pump will be running at half that, so you figure 3,600 RPMs. This is 11.9 gallons per minute of fuel, and like I said earlier, it's going to have a dash 12 coming into the bottom, and a three-way shutoff valve, and that's open. So, you know, with that lever open, then fuel is coming out the top and going into the bug catcher. Whenever you close the three-way shutoff valve, that diverts the fuel to the port here that will go back to the tank. So you got to give somewhere for the fuel and all that pressure to go. You don't want to deadhead this belt-driven pump. So it's either flowing up to the bird catcher. We're running a bird catcher. It's either flowing up to the bird catcher, and that's when this valve is open. So when the valve is down, fuel's coming up and then coming out here, going back to the tank. And this is a pump saver. This releases pressure off the pump. When this is open, which this Morse cable will be going into the car where I'm sitting so that I can make sure the fuel is on or off. But when this lever's up, obviously pump is pumping methanol up through here and then out of there going to the bird catcher mechanical fuel injection system. So this mount is pretty solid. There's no flex in it. There's no give in it. So kudos to Dad for all the welding and fabrication there while I've been busy working during the day. But wanted to share some of this with you guys so you can get a better view of it. And you know, like I said, we've got a new fitting coming for the CVR 55 gallon per minute water pump, and it will have a dash 16 fitting that comes out of there. We took into account the fact that the belt is going to be coming up at an angle towards this way because of the way the idler pulley works on an 871. So we tried to leave plenty of room here to make sure the belt's not rubbing, etc. But if we have to, we can go with a longer belt and move the pump and everything over more towards the passenger fender. So this is what we've got. We are running the 1V pulley between the crank hub and the blower pulley. We will be running a low mount 16 volt alternator on the car. So this is where we are, guys. Let me show you how the bird catcher system looks. Mechanical fuel injection system that's been set up and worked on by Alkydigger. Special thanks to Toni and Mike there. But as you can see, we've got the mechanical injection system with the block in the back, 4 nozzles on each side. Obviously our fuel line from the pump will come up and come in here. This is our return line back to the tank as well, and got a bunch of extra jets. Okay guys, that's where we're at today. I know this has been a slow process, but I'm so excited. This is going to help us get a lot further down the road now. Excited to have the fuel pump mounted, excited to have the crank trigger situation figured out. Wanted to just share that with you guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm excited to keep going. We're going to be setting up the heads on the motor now. Next, we're going to be pulling the dummy block out, putting this in, routing some lines for the rear radiator tank, the puke tank, getting the FuelTech computer wired in. We're going to be logging fuel pressure. We're going to be logging oil pressure. We're going to be logging AFR. We're logging a lot of data now, and not a lot, but we're getting started in that whole process. So we'll be firing this bad boy up hopefully here very soon. I'll be getting with Toni and Mike at Alkydigger to get the blower and everything else finished and shipped to us, and we'll be doing a startup on this bad boy here soon. So stay tuned. Remember, go fast, go straight. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.